Alright, so this is gonna be a grinding stream. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grind and talk about some random things that come to my mind. Let's get to where I want to go first, and then I'll figure out what I want to talk about. But I do want to be playing as A2. So we'll start here. Now, if you didn't play Nier, that's okay. I'm not going to be doing much of story progression. You're going to hear a little clip of dialogue from the pod and from A2. It's completely without a context, so it's not like it's going to matter. But anyway. So this is going to be the talking grind. I'm going to try my best to keep talking. And that's about it. But first, I need to find my spot. That'd be helpful.
Goddamn sand is starting to piss me off.
I don't know why I wanted to play as A2 over 2B. I guess I just like A2 more. She's a lot more... She's a lot more assertive than A2, or than 2B. 2B is nice and all, and I really love 2B. I love this game. Honestly, this game was something that I did not regret spending the money on. Let me tell you. I got this game, I think the day it came out, and I knew from like when I started playing it that I was gonna love it. I was gonna love the game. I've always liked the hack and slash beat 'em that some games are. Devil May Cry, Bayonetta. I didn't own Bayonetta, but I saw a lot of gameplay of it. My girlfriend had it, and she said that it was a lot of fun. I played Devil May Cry on my PlayStation 3 when I got the anniversary edition or something like that, where it was like the collector's bundle. That was a lot of fun too, mainly because I like the over-the-top like weapon arts that you get to do. It's just super cool. So when I was playing this game, it was everything that I liked about those games, plus the aesthetics. Like, yeah, I hear a lot of complaints that Nier's color scheme isn't all that great. It's more of a, it's bland. Everyone, well, it makes sense though. Like, yeah, there's not, I don't know where I'm going. I'm lost. I'm lost in a game that I spend a lot of time in. That's great, right? Where am I supposed... I still don't get how to use this map. This is the center. Oh, okay. I'm just stupid. I'm just really stupid. But yeah, I understand that a lot of people are just like, the color palette's a little saturated. It's really dark. Like, you get this really, like, dready feel. And I feel like that was done on purpose. And it should have been, because it matches how the world is so perfectly. And I feel like everything blended very well for this game. It was well done. I felt like the story was well executed. It's not something that you should play like sitting down in one. I feel like speedrunning it with the story involved is not a good idea, and because of how the story is just like given to you, it's just hard to like sit down, comprehend what just happened, and then keep going. Because if you don't know, like Drakengard and I think the first Nier, this game is broken up into like different endings. You constantly play through the story to get new endings. So like going through it all at once is a bad idea because you just don't understand some of the stuff that happened just yet. You kind of have to process it for a bit before you can continuously just go on. But oh boy, was the story good. I think it took me 8 or 10 hours to beat the first ending, and it just kind of like snowballed from there. The game's not that long for its main story, since there's only 5 main endings, even though there are technically 26 endings. But there's only 5, and it just gets better and better as we go. First enemy contact for 5 minutes of stream, and this is the first enemy contact. How lovely. But I felt like everything was done great for this game. I remember the day that I got it, since, actually I think it was I didn't get it on the first day. I think I got it the day after it came out, because the day it came out I was told at about like 10 at night, and I was just getting out of work and I was a little too tired to like be bothered with buying it at the time. However, the next day I got home from class around like 11. Oh, I signed onto my PlayStation, I downloaded it, and I started doing chores. And I just put my PlayStation in rest mode because I knew I wanted to play it when I come back from work that night after as well. So I just spent that entire day just anticipating what was going to happen. And I remember that was the fastest day of work, because I knew like when I got home I was going to be playing Nier, and I was like super excited. And I feel like my hype was not met with any disappointment, because I absolutely love this game. I adore it. The characters are great, except for 9S in my own opinion. I just really don't like 9S. And I'm not sure if anyone else will agree with me. I just feel like he whines a bit too much. That's just my personal opinion from what I've seen. And I feel like he just goes conveniently insane without trying to say too much for the story. But yeah, now I'm finally getting to the grinding spot. It took me 6 minutes to get here to where I wanted to be, mainly because I get lost in the desert. The desert is alright, so I will agree with like some of the level design problems that people complain about, because I just don't like the desert. Leave Shotokan alone. Hey, I'm entitled to my opinions. I really don't like 9S. Shotokan. Oh, that's good. No, but the desert is like the only place where I'll constantly get lost in, no matter how much I play this game. Oh man, I really like this game. The story was great, the gameplay is fun, 2B's ass is nice, so that's always something to look forward to if you like those sort of things. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's 80% of the reason why people bought this game, was because, hey, big anime ass. It wasn't tits, no, it wasn't the anime tits this time around, no, it was the big anime ass from 2B, which it's nice. It's not as great as everyone wants it to be, or as everyone says. Ooh, big guys already. Come on, buddy. Come on, do the thing. Do the thing. Do it before I break you. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do. Oh, he did it. But I felt like this game was what was needed. It was a very well placed game, and something that came out was like, when it came out, what was around it? For Honor came out, and For Honor was good. It was for the few, I hate these guys, for the few like weeks it was relevant. For Honor is still a really good game, and I'll probably stream that later for another episode of the Caulking Grind. I'm gonna try and do this more often as a solo thing. But I feel like the problem with For Honor is that it's not one of those games that can hook you there, because the gameplay is nice, it's well fleshed out sword fighting. And if you don't like that sort of thing, then yeah, of course it's not your type of game, but for me, that is. I really like the sword mechanics, that's why I like this game. Like, Nier, For Honor, the way that they do weapon play is just amazing to me. But the problem with For Honor is nothing is extremely gripping. Like, yeah, you can argue Nier's gonna get boring after a while, and of course it is. Every game eventually has its point where it's just like, I can't do it anymore. But with For Honor, that fades really quickly, since its entire gimmick is its solid sword fighting gameplay, because that's what it's designed after. But the second you realize you're still gonna fight people who tend to cheese you with gravity kills regardless of where you are, or tend to just rely on bullshit methods of standing behind a shield that you can't get past because of superior defense conquerors, you tend to just be left with a game where it's just like, yeah, this is fun, but after 15 or so minutes I'm gonna get upset. And that's not what you want to be. Like, yeah, you can get good at classes. Like, I really love playing the Nobushi, and people will probably hate me for that, but still, it's more of the whole, there's nothing to it, there's no depth, it's a better version of Call of Duty, because instead of shooting people, you have sword fighting, and I feel like that's just a lot better, but in reality, that's all it is. It's that game, you log on to play a few online matches with some whining 12-year-old kid that you might end up in mic chat with and just regret after a while. But even though, like, I feel like Nier still stood its time, people still like this game, and that's what matters. For Honor's hype has slowly died down. I've heard no one talk about it. The second round has gone through, and everyone that I knew who played it was just like, whatever. But I can still go up to my group of friends and be like, hey, remember that one part in Nier where blah 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 happened? And they'll be like, yo, my god, yeah, that part was amazing. I remember that part, and I'm gonna remember it for a while because its gameplay was memorable. And I know people are like, well, you're comparing a story game to like what is essentially an MMO, but like, who remembers For Honor's story? It has one. I'm not sure if anyone's done it. It has a story. Some stuff happened and I barely remember it. All I remember is that I got to play the Orochi, and that's why I'm now okay with the Orochi. That's all I remember from For Honor's story. It's not like, I feel like it would have benefited from having stories that you could choose from, because you had to choose. Alright, here you went through the Knight story, you played only as the Warden, the Lawbringer once, and the Peacemaker once. The Peacekeeper once. And it's just like, okay, yeah, cool, but what about everyone else? What if I wanted to do the story solely with this person because I wanted to see if I can challenge myself? Like, it gave me no variety. I had no way that I could come at these. Like, once you beat Nier, yeah, you have to beat it, but you get the chapter selected. Now you can start playing as much as you want, and yeah, you just get to go back and relive these great memories. But I don't look at the For Honor story and say, hey, I want to go back and relive this fight. And I only have to go back because it gives me cosmetic items for the multiplayer. So it's not even like I can use these cosmetic items in the story and show off my prowess, because it's not going to matter. Everything that is for that game is for the multiplayer. And I think that's a big problem in games now today, where because we're such a like multiplayer focused gaming community, we tend to have those, how do you say it, like biases. And it turns out that like the only story games that make it out to shelves are those like cult following anime games that no one plays, and then everyone buys the latest Call of Duty because they need something else to shoot. And it's rather stale. There's nothing new, which is why I couldn't help myself but spend the full amount of money on Nier the day it came out, because it was something different. It was the story-based game that I wanted, and the sword fighting hack and slash game that I didn't know I needed. And I think that's why I ended up enjoying it so much. Mainly because I had found something that I really enjoyed playing without having to be like, man, these controls suck, or man, I just don't like how the game isn't fluid. I love the combat in Nier. Everything feels right. So canceling with your dash, even hell, using the pod to fight instead of yourself, everything feels great for me, and I think that's why I enjoyed this game so much. It had great story, annoying enemies such as this little guy following me. I love him. I love him even though I hate him, and his screams of eternal peril. But it had everything I wanted in the game, and everything I didn't know I needed just to talk. Ow. Now, will I say that everyone should play Nier? No, definitely not. We're talking about Senran Kagura. Senran Kagura is a great game, let's be honest. Like, Cat can get it. If you don't know what Senran Kagura is, good for you. You still have some purity left inside of your body. But, I just... Ow. Ow. I just took that. I could have dodged it. I could have. I don't know. Sometimes I'd just like to let the enemies hit me to see what happens. They don't really do anything with it because they tend to die afterwards like that. I don't know how that counted as a perfect dodge. It clearly hit me. Alright. Whatever. No, but... What was that? What was... Point being, like, definitely, if you enjoy story, also test your skill to hit buttons as fast as you possibly can, because let's be honest, that's what it comes down to. Most combos happen without press the buttons and wow, look at this fluid motion. But that's what's so great about it. Anyone can progress through this game. So everyone gets to experience the story regardless of how good they are with tactically spamming all the buttons. So, yeah, Nier was a good game. What else can we talk about? This grinding spot. I found out in the Facebook Messenger my friends are in. One of them was saying that they went back to a place of a previous boss fight, and apparently there was just an endless horde of enemies, and I didn't believe them at first until I actually came here for the first time. And oh boy, was I not disappointed, because this allows me to just take out all of my stress. All of it. It's so good. There isn't much else to say about the game in general. Like, everyone needs to make their own opinion for it. I mean, if you're gonna look at it and just be like it's another one of those like anime games because you see 2V and 9S and A2 on the cover and you see these long silvered haired people in like the tattered battle clothes with pose looking off into the sunset because that box art is amazing. Don't. The story is well worth the money itself. The emotional attachment you get to these characters at the end of everything is fantastic. Again, aside from 9S, because fuck him, I really don't like 9S. Oh man, that's okay. All right. So this is where I'm going to dwell into spoiler territory for a bit. I'm gonna talk about 9S. I'm gonna talk about why I don't like him. So, I'm bad at editing, and I don't know how to put annotations, but I'll probably put them in the description if this video does go up on where to stop listening to me about my bitching of 9S and the story. So now that spoiler warning is out of there, let's talk about why I hate 9S. And it all comes down to like the last of 2B's missions, where you're separated with 9S, you don't know what's going on, you're trying to pretty much figure everything out yourself, and it comes down to you find out 2B was infected with a virus that will slowly take over her body. And now the problem is usually she has 9S help and pretty much hack the virus out because she's an android. You know, computer viruses are deadly. Better upgrade your Avast, kids. Get the premium version of your antivirus because you're gonna need it. But so yeah, the 2B's infected, and you have to do this really annoying mission where you have to get to a spot with no other androids because 2B doesn't want to infect any others. She's that selfless, and I love her. But comes down to it that when you get there, you realize you're not going to make it, and you get ambushed by other androids who then pretty much try to kill 2B when she can't even fight. But I love my Trojan. Wait, what? What? Okay. What was I saying? So yeah. So, oh shit. It's a little bit more enemies than I have anticipated. Oh, you stop that. I hate this. There we go. And he's gone. So when you finally get there, and, you know, you realize that you're gonna die, and you're gonna lose 2B for the rest of the gameplay. And it's sad, and it's something you just kind of have to deal with. You sit there and realize that 9S wasn't there to help. Even though he probably knew where 2B was because he came immediately to that spot after a little help from the spot. But then when he gets there, he sees what pretty much triggers him for the rest of the game, which is 2B's sword held by A2 stabbing 2B. Now, in his perspective, yeah, it looks like A2 murdered 2B, but 2B asked to be stabbed mainly because she knew she was going to die and she didn't want to cause any more trouble for anyone else. She knew that this was the end for her, and it was just a touching moment, ruined by this Shota screaming at the top of his lungs that he'll kill you, even though there's no way he should be able to win in a fight, period. Moving on. So, if you started the game, you know that 2B, the combat unit, built to survive and fight, and the fact that she just died and 9S being a scanning unit, built to just do some hacking and doodly do some shit, is still, I'm being grabbed, is still alive, and just, you know, has outlived someone who pretty much carried him through the whole first part of the game, is a little upsetting to me. Mainly because 9S does nothing. Like, the first two endings of the game are the same. Like, you go through pretty much the same thing. You go through 9S's and 2B's side of the first half of the game, and that is it. So you can clearly see that 9S doesn't do anything without 2B, because he can't. He's not strong enough. So for him to suddenly just, you know, be the one to survive annoyed me, because he shouldn't have. He wasn't that strong. He just, it's not like the whole thing like, oh, strength, blah, blah, blah. He also just like let his emotions get the better of him, because he's always angry. He was angry at A2, and you're not supposed to have these emotions as an android. Which, I mean, this is where the whole they're more human than us comes into play of the story, which I also love. But it's just like, he had too many flaws to make it this far, and I think that's why they had him come this far, because they knew that this will be the more emotional side of a person, because now A2 is now harboring 2B's memories and knows everything 2B knew before 2B died. I can sit up, my ass is starting to hurt. So then you get to like a point where 9S now has a solid determination to kill A2, and this sick fascination with trying to remember 2B. And I think that's where his character goes from like this lovable little ball of sunshine and energy to this depressive, homicidal, I want to kill everything in sight maniac that I had no connections with towards the last part of the game. He really just had a one-track mind and showed no sign of like any cognition. It was just kill and murder. He literally became the thing that we were supposed to be fighting against, because the machines, these robots that I'm mindlessly killing now, are supposedly the enemies that can only wipe out the human race. Yet that's exactly what 9S is doing now. A little ironic. That aside, we get to the point where 9S finally makes it to A2, and this is like that last scene in the game where you get to choose whose side you see it from. You could either fight A2 as 9S, or you can fight 9S as A2. And if you do it with A2, you see that obviously an easier fight because all he can do is try and hack you every now and then, which will slow you down. But you can counter hack him because his main form of attack is a hacking mini game, so it's not like it has its own counters. And he doesn't, he's not a good. But then when you win, the corruption that was inside of him, you physically just hack the corruption out of 9S, and it was just so good. But that isn't the true ending. The true ending apparently is choosing 9S's route, where A2 is about to defeat 9S, but stopped because she remembers 2B asking her not to hurt him, even though bringing him down would have saved him more than, fighting him or just letting him go. But it's just so bad, because even in the ending where he wins, he slips and falls on A2's sword and dies. So it's not like yeah, you won, but you still lose. And that ending, I just feel like you still lose. Regardless, like, you don't have a choice. You lost. And that's the end of that. Who can I taunt? Oh boy, taunting ghosts is a bad idea. I see you over there, lurking. Going. Now, I can't really say much. I mean, 9S did survive, and 2B didn't. So, there has to be a reason. I don't want to think about it too much, because then you get into that speculation. Like, what would happen if 2B was the one who survived? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's clearly a reason why 2B did survive, and I don't want to spoil that, because that is a big mindfuck that messed me up when I first heard it through the story. So I don't want to take that away from anyone who is planning on playing the game at any time. So that's going to be the end of the spoiler talk, and why I hate 9S. Let's move on to something else before I get a little more salty. Something else that's, it's easier said than done. Oh, so recently, PlayStation had a flash sale, and in it was, Lords of the Fallen, which, when I first heard of it, I really wanted it, because people were saying, oh, it's kind of like Dark Souls. And at first, that's all they were saying about it. But then it kind of turned out to be like, oh, it's just a Dark Souls, blah, blah, blah. And I really wanted to know what made a Dark Souls clone, and why does it matter? Because we eat up those games. Like, people who buy Dark Souls really love these games that are testing your knowledge, patience, and whatnot. So, why call it a clone? It's not exactly the same. We have new different enemies. Like, some of the enemies in Lords of the Fallen just fucking terrify me. Like, there's one spider enemy that I'm pretty sure if I saw in a dark alley, I'd probably die of a heart attack. Mainly because that thing scared the hell out of me. But it's just like, it's not, like, I didn't get that fear in enemies in Dark Souls. Like, there's still elements to it. So it's just like, we call them clones, but like, I feel like it doesn't matter. They're all part of that same, like, hard difficulty, many enemy genre, which is fine. It's not like Dark Souls is the only one that's ever done that. Japan's probably done something else. We just never got it in America because Japan keeps everything in Japan. But we still love them. Oh, he was just walking around. I didn't have to show my face, but he was. It's just like, Neo just came out, and I really want that game too, but I'm broke, the college student struggle. It's just, but everyone's just like, oh, it's just another Dark Souls clone. But I've seen a lot of videos with Neo, and I know that it has enough differences where it shouldn't be considered a clone. It should just be considered part of that genre. And I think that's what upsets me. Because people are very quick to say this is a clone of this, or this is the exact same as that. Like every platformer that only has jumping and some projectiles as a form of attack with some slight problem solving as a Mario clone. Now, or an animal running across the screen at high speeds as a Sonic clone. Like Freedom Planet just got that right off the bat because it was dreaded as a Sonic clone, but it had enough differences where it could stand out as its own game. But it was just part of that side-scrolling speedrunning genre. And I feel like that's where we are nowadays, where everything just is a clone of something. Like, in our technology, it's like, oh, it's just a rip-off iPhone, or it's just a rip-off blah blah blah. And I think we're forgetting the point that people can make these things because they're different. And if they were actually clones, they would have stopped in production due to copyright infringement or something. They're not clones. They're just, you know, very similar. But we all like that, right? That's how the gaming industries get us. We Call of Duty game that comes out, even though it's just the same little things shooting people in the face with newer guns. But everyone always justifies the need to buy the new Call of Duty because of the new features that are in it, blah blah blah. Like the next one kind of copied Halo with the whole space stuff, but those aren't clones. They're just sequels. So I guess they get away with the pass. But if we make a game that's really hard and has very strong enemies that you have to, you know, go around in different ways and have multiple ways of attacking, defending yourself, and generally proceeding through the game. But it's just, you know, known for its difficulty as well as its numerous of enemies that tend to respawn when you ever get to a checkpoint. It's automatically a Dark Souls clone, and it's written off as that, and no one's ever going to see there's nothing in that. And every time you go to a review site, it's just like, oh, it's just another Dark Souls clone. But like, these games have so much more to offer, but no one really cares about them. Like, Lords of the Fallen, I can see everyone's like, oh, it's just a clunkier Dark Souls. Yeah, but you didn't get the Gauntlet in Dark Souls. I'm not that far in Lords of the Fallen, so I don't know what else we have in there. But it's just like, I feel like I can't see it or play it like Dark Souls. For one, your rolling isn't that invincible as it is in Dark Souls. Like, everyone knows in Dark Souls, rolling is your way to safety, your way to freedom, your way to be invincible for a slight moment. Rolling in Lords of the Fallen is false hope for me, because I thought, hey, if it's a Dark Souls clone, maybe it'll act the exact same. No, I still got smacked with rolling and died to the first boss because I thought I could roll through him, because, you know, that's what I did in Dark Souls. So, you can't. I learned that the hard way. And like, what I've heard with Neo is just like, oh, it's just like Asian Dark Souls. Take Dark Souls and put it in Japan. It's just like, so what? It's a new setting. We have these new monsters made off of like mythology, from what I've heard. And it's just like, that's so cool. And we have new features like the summoning of like the spirit animals, I think it is. And it's just like, yeah, that I would love to have that. That sounds badass. Summoning a shark to kill my enemies. I'm not sure if it's a shark. I'm not sure if anything is in Neo, because I still don't have it yet. But when I do, oh boy, maybe I'll stream my first reactions to Neo. That'll be fun. A lot of screaming, yelling, and general anxiety. I think everyone would like to watch that. But it's more of a... Oh, getting grabbed again. That's a very weird grabbing animation. There are a lot of enemies on the floor now. It's just like we overlook things like a new Call of Duty or a first-person shooter that just so happens to be taken in, you know, into a little more of a realistic perspective. Like, everyone doesn't mind Battlefield and Call of Duty being these, you know, super realistic shooters. But the second some indie company makes something kind of goofy, but a first-person shooter, it's just like, nope, it's just a Call of Duty clone. I don't know. That just upsets me. Mainly because, you know, we haven't given it a fair shot. I don't know. I saying that a lot. I should probably stop. Wish I had something else to talk about. I don't know. I'm gonna look and find out something, and as I get hit, let's see what Facebook has to say. Actually, no, I don't need that. So, I was scrolling through Facebook the other day, and I saw like a list of like anime that'll be coming out in the summer, and a lot of it looks good. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh man, I spend a lot of time watching anime. I don't, and the reason is because I just don't like sitting down for long periods of time. That's my problem. I would watch anime if I could, because he says that he can't sit down for long periods of time, but here he is sitting down for over half an hour, which is more than an episode of anime, just to be playing video games. Let me rephrase that. I can't sit down for long periods of time just staring at a screen. I have to be at least doing something with my hands, talk about the DLC. Oh yeah! Why don't we just go do some of the DLC? I'll do that in a bit. Let's see if I can hit level 70, and then I'll go do some DLC. But first, like with the anime thing, where was I going? I'd love to be able to sit down and just watch anime for a long period of time. It's just, I get so anxious for not, like, moving, or, like, at least having something to do with my hands. It's just like, I'd rather be doing so much else. But yeah, commentator's right. Let's go do some DLC. We'll talk about it while we'll do some of it. So, the DLC for Nier was released recently, and actually I'm not sure if I can stream that. Can I stream that? I think it's fine. I'll just, I'm not gonna do it, but I will talk about it. So, the DLC, thanks, hacks. The DLC for Nier was released, and ow, fuck me. The DLC for Nier was released, and it was, these 3, like, arenas with rising difficulty per level, of course. And, I guess it's supposed to be one for each of the characters, because there's one that's specifically just for hacking, which I haven't gone in yet, because I just really don't like playing as 9S. But, so apparently it's another one of those, hey, Square Enix has put their CEO into a game, and you get to fight him, like you did in Final Fantasy 15's Chocobo Festival event. I hear him running at me. Ooh. So, yeah, I share my PlayStation account with my best friend, and pretty much I bought Nier so he could also play it on his account. And so what he did, he bought the DLC for us. And I'm not sure if he played the DLC, because he did the true ending of Nier, and if you know what the true ending of Nier is and how devastating it is to your hours of hours of gameplay, then you know why he couldn't just pop back into Nier and just continue playing. But that aside, I tried out the DLC for myself. So there are the 2 arenas that I went to were, one was, I believe, just a basic fighting arena. There's nothing special about it, just like fight all the things and don't die. And the other was a fight all the things and don't die, but with special rules. And those rules get really hard later on. So like, I think the first one was just fight. No rules, just fight. So it kind of like sets you off at the, like a regular battle. The second rule was fight without using your pod. And as you can see from all the, like, fighting I do, I very rarely use my pod. Because I don't like to hold the trigger down and just shoot endlessly. No repercussions. You could just do this. I could just run around and shoot. So I use my pod when I really need to. It's like certain enemies I just don't know how to fight, even though I've been playing this game for a long time. So yeah, that tends to be a problem. But ow, that that happened. Okay. So there's that. Then the third rule, and I just realized like the arena was not messing around. It was win the fight without evading. Now evading is this whole dashy dash thing that I do every now and then to not only cancel my attacks but to stop time and, you know, move freely because it's my best mobility as well as whatever. So, you know, it's something that I kind of need. And they're just like, hey, you can't use it. And if you use it, you automatically fail the fight, and that's it. Like, you gotta do it all over again. Then I stopped at the fourth one. Not only were the enemies too strong for me at the time that I was going to do the fourth one, but the fourth one was you can't touch the sand on the ground. So it's kind of arena like this, but with boxes everywhere. And you pretty much have to fight while standing on those boxes. And no, you can double jump, so you have to like jump once, attack, and then jump again so that you could land on a box without hitting the floor. I immediately failed that mission because I took one step, fell from the box, didn't have enough time to recover, and that was the end of the fight. I lost. I was just like, yeah, okay. I'm gonna come back when I figure out how to fly. Then we'll be in business. The other arena that I went to was just a solid fight, just keep fighting, and that's all it was. And I think I made it to rank A, which is the 5th rank arena, because I tend to not get hit when fighting seriously, so I don't have to worry about taking too much damage. Oh yeah, I forgot. There's one other rule, but that's for all arenas. You can't use healing items. So generally, if you take damage, like health damage, you're gonna stay that low. But a lot of my like command decks here, I can just heal either by hitting things or just by running around, so I don't have to worry about the whole dying thing due to damage like that, as long as I, you know, stay on the ground. I haven't tried the 3rd dungeon because the 3rd arena, because it's, again, it's a 9S exclusive arena. So I have to go when I'm playing as 9S. I do know that you get some cosmetic items for all 3 characters. I think you get kind of like clothes, kind of like A2 for 2B, the whole like deserter destroyed clothes. I think you get a tuxedo for 9S, which is pretty cool. And I don't remember what you get for A2, which is sad because I really like A2, but I can remember everyone else. I should probably go to sleep soon. I'm tired. I'm tired and I have to wake up early tomorrow, but I wanted to get these thoughts out while I could. Either way, the whole arenas are fun. They're so hard. And when they say, like, they give you like the whole, hey, we recommend you to be this level. Now you don't have to listen to it. Like if you're a rebel like me, I did most of them at level 50 because you can. Because it's not like the enemies get extremely difficult. They still have the same AI. So like these guys spawn, and I'll show you what you mean. So you can still kind of just walk around, and they have like really big tells for their attacks, and you can dodge them still, and you know when you can stagger them. It's more of a whole they hit harder and take less damage than a whole they're now smarter and have better ways to fight you. So you can do a lot of the fighting for like the standard, hey, just fight arena at lower levels if you're good at dodging and attacking in succession, which is something I strive to be good at because it's the main core concept of this game. And I want to say that I'm good at Nier Automata, so I will say I'm good at Nier Automata, and that's how I pronounce it, automata, not automata. That sounds weird. Anyway, so those are the DLCs that were just released, and I hope that they release more later, because I don't want this game to die. Not for the whole, oh man, I just really like this game and I'm just that big fanboy. It's more of that, this game has so much potential because there's so much in this world that it's just there's so much that the developers and like the people behind the scenes can do with everything. Like, you know, make a dungeon that pops up in the desert, so that the desert isn't just this big open place. Like, you know, we're gonna go explore a little bit because I'm gonna see if I can find it again. But the secret boss is in the desert. I'm not sure if I can activate the fight. You know, if I can activate the fight, that'll be the end of the stream, whether I win or lose. So that's what's gonna happen, because I am tired. I need to find a good place to stop. So what's gonna go down is I'm gonna try and find the secret boss again, and if I can somehow activate the fight, we'll fight him. But he's just in the middle of the desert randomly, so, you know, just a little out of place. But there's still a huge desert where you can definitely make something come up from the sand, like a giant. I'm going the wrong way. I am good at this game. You can make like some giant machine come out and be like, that's now a raid boss, or go fight it. Or like the machine itself is the dungeon. Like, you can go inside the machine and find smaller machines, and then you have to go to those machines like core and destroy it from there. That'd be a fun dungeon to do. I'd play that. I don't know. There's just a lot of like open space in this game where they can add things, and they could make it make sense. Like, machines drop in from other places and go to the giant crater that's now in the center of the world. I don't know. Alright. So, to find the final boss, I think I'm gonna have to teleport to the center, because I'm pretty sure I can't get back up there from here. So I'm gonna teleport back to the center. Kick and away. And before I do, actually, I'm gonna see if I can, I'm gonna equip, where is it? There it is. I'm gonna have A2 with her long hair, because I like A2 with long hair. And I want to go to the center. I'm suffering currently. It's hot in my room, but my fan, so I can't turn it on because my headphones pick it up. And I noticed that in like the other recordings that I had, it's just really, really loud. And it's just, you know, out there. I don't know what to say about it. So I'm pretty sure he's this way. Past all the destruction. What's this over here though? It's an item. That's another thing too. Like, this game is perfect for people who have like game ADHD and they can't sit still and they just want to constantly do things. Because a good majority of the time, like, unless you're progressing the story right away, you can just do whatever the hell you want, and the game's not gonna like hound you for anything. But like, as you can see what I mean, like the world is just empty. Are these guys like low level? Oh no, they're not. Oh no, cause I'm on A2 story. Everyone's in like the 40s and such. I'm stupid. Goodbye. I think that's it. No. I know it's somewhere over here. I remember it was a really big part in the desert. I don't think you can go past this way. No, you can't. So it's this way. Is it over there? I don't. Yes. Yes? Is it? No. I don't think you can go that way either. I'm lost. There's a red thing over here. Oh. It's a person. Oh, watch your step around here. There might be ancient relics buried underneath the surface. Me, I'm researching the old world. You guys are with Yorha, right? Say, if you find anything in the desert that looks like a relic, can you bring it to me? I'll find a way to reward you for the trouble. Heritage of the past accepted. Okay. What does that mean? Do I have like a quest marker for it? I'm gonna check that real quick. Trial of Sand. That's the DLC. Current destination. Gamblers Coliseum, no. Half-wit inventor. I'm pretty sure there's a way to... Mysterious letter. Mysterious letter. What's that? Also, where am I? This is me? Is this is the Trial of Sand? I'm not sure if I can go that far. Then he's that way?
So I need to find junk from the old world now?
Searching for relics in the desert without assistance might prove difficult. Proposal: Unit A2 should use the dynamic scanner.
I don't think the dynamic scanner is going to help me find what I'm looking for. Mainly because what I'm looking for is giant boss. I don't know if I'm going to die if I keep going this way. So it looks like I'm going to die. So I just don't want to go that way. I'm just going to walk this way for a bit. I'm going to figure things out. One sec. I spelled it wrong. Let me try and find the boss. That's the shop. Alright, so I'm gonna look at this. Hopefully they show me where it is on the map. I think it's this way. Ugh, I hate this map. Go back up. I don't know what that is, but we're going there. Alright, I don't know where this boss is, which makes me upset. Can't find it. I found him once by accident, and it creeped me the hell out because he's like giant scattered heads, and I didn't know what to think. What is this? Who are you people? What is this? I didn't know this thing was here. I didn't know there was an access point here. I can fish here.
Commencing.
I like how you fish with your pod.
No response.
Are you only meant to grab that then? I missed. I didn't know anything about this place. It's nice to honestly see some new things from this game. Oh, hey. I messed that up.
Lost.
Yeah, I messed that up. I didn't know you threw that far. See, I don't know if I can go into the water. Cause I got something.
Report. Success.
Small fish. Okay. This is just a regular.
Complete.
This is just a regular fishing place. Oh, I can walk on it. Okay. This is new. That's cool. I enjoy finding new things. This little oasis in the desert. That's a nice hint, actually. Okay. I'm actually tired. I'm gonna end it here. It's been fun. Hopefully I'll do this again some other time. Hopefully some other people will come and say hi too. Goodbye for now.